Welcome to Profiles in Eccentricity, a show about weirdos. With your hosts, John Fahey, Aaron Peter, and Matt Brousseau.
Hello, folks. Welcome to Profiles in Eccentricity. It's a show about weirdos. Doggone it.
It's true.
My name is Juan Francisco Fahey.
Huh?
John Francis Fahey, your host, Johnboy.
Biden goes to Ireland once and he loses it.
Who goes to... Oh, Biden. Yeah, I didn't know he was over there.
Yeah.
I don't think he did either.
Yeah. He was all doddering around.
Doddering.
Michelangelo's David Duchovny, Aaron Joseph Peter joins me on the program.
Cowabunghole, dudes.
Yeah, you know I will.
Very nice. Michael Skeeton.
Tasty.
And to your right, my life, of course, is handsome Matt Brousseau, the Frenchman henchman.
Hello.
There he is, right there.
Oh, hi.
Believe it or not.
I do.
How you doing, fellas?
Doing pretty good. We did a little
Spring cleaning?
spring cleaning. We did a little
clean the pipes out?
checking out, look at the schematics, dimensions.
The studio.
Of the studio.
Got to see that incredible sign.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking amazing.
Sign is so good.
Paid for by your Patreon dollars.
Yes.
Those of you who actually pay.
Yes, of which there are some of you that didn't for 5 years. Some of whom we said happy birthday to this one guy Edgar at his girlfriend's request, and then it seemed like it was his birthday every month for 5 years because he kept ripping us off for $5.
$5.
Anyway, $275. $275 to Profiles in Eccentricity Podcast at gmail.com.
Yep.
Gmail.com. And then we're square. It's all good.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's no big deal. You were a little late.
So what? We're not charging any juice.
No. Yeah. It's not like you're our network or anything. Nah. All right. Well, I got a little something, but Matt, you told me you got a little something too.
I do have a little something, and this comes from one of our great listeners who asked me not to
name them.
Not to name them, so it could be you.
Wow.
Or even you.
Yeah. They've sent me a book, and I know I've done some of their recommendations before. This one's an old one, recommended this years ago, but not 5 years ago. So, you know. But I want to talk about a very short-lived moment in time in Chinese culture. It took the place by storm.
Oh, wow.
Took China by storm?
Which is the most dangerous way to take it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you a quick summary of the Great Leap Forward. That sets the table for this moment of the Cultural Revolution.
Mm-hmm.
So in 1958 and 1962, Mao, you know Mao.
Yeah.
Zedong.
Mm-hmm. He institutes the Great Leap Forward as an attempt to turn China from an agrarian society into a communist one, using agricultural and industrial communes to ramp up production of grain and steel in general.
Yeah. Skip all sorts of steps. Fuck it.
Who cares?
By the end of the Great Leap, it's generally agreed that somewhere around 30 million people died. Chinese people died. Estimates range from 15 to 55 million. It's either the second or the largest famine in world history.
Yeah, we talked about some of that stuff.
Yes.
Some of the specific rules that led to
yes.
Like certain animals were considered terrible, so they were like,
no, do away with those.
Yeah, like certain birds and stuff, I believe.
Yeah.
So one of the issues I believe is there was an outbreak of a bird virus or something that decimated some grain or bird species or something.
Yeah.
There's also things like they had these numbers of production that they wanted to match, and people would just be like, yeah, of course we can do that. We'll figure it out. And so they would take farmers off their fields to make steel just to match the numbers, and then the crops would all die, and they wouldn't match the grain numbers. Yeah. And they were making steel out of these like backyard furnaces. That it was just like a guy built like a stone furnace, and all the steel they made was just pig iron. It wouldn't actually be quality steel.
Yeah.
So they were hitting numbers, but nothing ever.
Yeah, and then they were making buildings out of it.
Yeah. But no, you couldn't blame the policies in place. So what happened is that you blame people instead.
Yes, and they go to the gulag.
And then it'd be public humiliation, expulsion from the society, or even death.
Fuck out of here.
And usually, of course, it's the little people They would have party purges. They would have public struggle sessions where they would be like, "You're anti-party," and they would like drag them from the whole town and shame them. And then, of course, forced labor and such.
God damn, what a fucking nightmare.
So by the end of the Great Leap Forward in 62, Mao's popularity is at an all-time low.
In
at least
year?
for that time.
54?
58 to 62.
58
so
to
now we're in 62. By the early 1960s, his popularity is not great. But really, no one can really say it, but even he's recognizing it. So in 66, he starts what he calls the Cultural Revolution.
Yes.
Run by the Gang of Four, which is his wife and a few other people. Not the band.
Another couple. Friends of ours.
And so out of this Cultural Revolution came these groups called Red Guards. And they are these paramilitary student associations that kind of came out of nowhere because they printed the book, this red book of Mao's great sayings, 1 billion book copies of it. And all of these Red Guards and all of these workers would carry every time there was a picture, they would hold the book up. Every time they bought something, they would hold the book up. They always had these books with them. And so this the Maoist thought was, these student organizations crept up like naturally.
It'd be great if it was filled with like Larry King type thoughts. It was like, I never read Moby Dick. I don't know anyone that has.
I don't know anyone that has.
It's like, what, Larry?
You know someone who has.
You've interviewed everybody. You don't know anybody that's read Moby Dick? Like,
Wuhan, you're on the air.
Moby Dick. Yes or no?
No baseball team with an average below 500 get into the World Series or the playoffs. It's my 2 cents.
Yeah.
Just that shit.
Thanks, Larry.
Or what's the other fucking guy? The other idiot on 60 Minutes, Andy, whatever.
Andy Rooney.
Yeah.
That guy who's going, why does a woman's haircut cost more than a guy's haircut?
I don't know. I'm just asking questions.
I just use a calendar.
What if Mao's book was
Just that. Yeah, just cool stuff.
Deep thoughts.
Yeah,
By Mao Zedong.
basically brain droppings.
And that's what you have to say when you buy a cantaloupe or something. So these Red Guard factions were these student paramilitary groups, and they were created kind of naturally by themselves, and then Mao heard about this, and he publicly blessed them. And so then they just exploded.
Oh, yeah.
And for instance, so it kind of starts in August of 66. Mao meets with Song Binbin, who was this female leader of the Red Guards in Beijing, one of the groups in Beijing. And after their meeting, her group goes on a murder spree, and they start by killing the principal of her high school. She and a few other people beat the principal to death.
Why?
Because they didn't like her teachings.
Wow.
Yeah.
The principal, man.
Yeah.
Well, I guess.
And so, yeah. With the red book in your hand, yes. And so the principal is, I believe, regarded as the first person killed in the Cultural Revolution. And this August would become known as Red August. And so this group of Red Guards, especially, they go out attacking the four olds, they call them. Old habits, old customs, old culture, old ideas.
Oh.
And so, that could mean anything.
Oh, yeah.
Homework, down with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boo.
Last fall's fashions?
Yeah.
You're dead, asshole.
Sorry.
This is the Cultural Revolution, pal. Now, so university chairmen, professors, authors, anyone who could be perceived to be against Mao, anti-Mao, was attacked. There's a famous author who committed suicide just because they're going to kill me. I might as well.
I'm old.
And Mao eventually, Mao publicly told the police to not stop the Red Guards. And so the police would actually protect them. Mm-hmm. And by the end of the month, 1,772 people were killed, 8,000 people were beaten, 33,000 homes were ransacked, 85,000 families fled, and 22 entire families were killed.
Jesus.
By students.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Kids.
Hey, you live, you learn.
Yeah. And so that was just Beijing, and then the movement started spreading throughout the rural areas or smaller cities throughout China. And so there would be the 5 black categories, they called them, were the enemies. These would be landlords, rich farmers, counter-revolutionaries, and right-wingers. And the good side would be the 5 red categories: poor and lower class peasants, workers, revolutionary soldiers, revolutionary martyrs, and revolutionary cadres, or like people in good standing in the party.
Got it.
You know, anybody.
Anybody we decide.
Yeah.
Yeah. And right-wingers, like, what right-winger is standing up and being like, I'm right-wing? Now is China.
No, but so the right groups would be basically, there is these anti-right groups who their job was to find people who are anti-Mao.
Yeah.
So the rightists were the people who were
Just anybody that's
against,
anti-Mao. Yeah.
And so eventually there arose a problem with the Red Guards, except for the obvious the murder and the beatings. And
yes, and the rampaging and the pillaging, as well as the
murder of the intellectual intelligence.
Yeah, not good. That wasn't that big of a deal. The big problem was that these, and you never believe it, these youth groups, they started fighting each other.
No.
They
love that.
Infighting?
Yeah. Well, it'd be like 2 separate Red Guards would fight each other.
Well, of course.
Yeah.
We're more redder than you.
Yeah, exactly. Like my book's bigger or something. I got the thickest book in town.
It's on a bridge.
Yeah.
What's all that shit with the Japanese Red Army?
Yeah.
Remember they'd have those fucking like inter-militia purges, strengthening.
Yeah, you guys are gonna go up to the cabin.
Yeah, the mountains.
Maybe one of you will come back.
It's a frat hazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So in the summer of '68, there were these 2 Red Guard factions, the Regiment and the Four, and they met on the campus of Tsinghua, Tsinghua, or Qinghua University. So everybody who wasn't in these groups, all the students there, they fled, and just these 2 gangs basically took over the campus and fought each other.
Oh my God.
Barricaded themselves in and fought each other throughout the campus.
Good God.
And
What a fucking nightmare.
so there's about 400 people in total fighting each other
on campus.
using just anything they found.
Yeah, chocolate dust erasers.
Yeah.
Dodgeballs.
Yeah. The body of the principal. Yeah. anything.
Yeah.
A rope from a tetherball.
Yeah. School truly is out.
School's out. And we're in.
School seems to be out.
And so this went on for 100 days.
Huh?
Oh my God.
Yeah. It was 100 days war.
Using cafeteria food and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
oh, man,
Yeah.
trenches.
The cafeteria
now.
ladies were untouched.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. It's
Like,
part of a
This
humanitarian.
is kind of an old way, but we like it.
No, I mean, if they're dancing like Chris Farley.
Secretly, somebody infiltrates the lunch ladies, poisons sloppy joes.
Yeah.
How could you tell?
We always get diarrhea when we eat it.
I love it.
Here's a hamburger in a bag, steamed.
Steamed if you're a nice guy.
Look to say coming out as it is going in.
Steamed burgers.
How do they do it?
Oh wow!
Make mine
Where
extra
do
steamy.
I sign up? You mean it's sweating? Wow. Bagged milk?
Sauna burgers. All right.
So,
This burger's got a fever. And after I eat it, so do I.
Tsinghua sous vide burgers.
Now that's what I call a burger.
So Mao, he instructed 6 factories. He instructed their workers to go and stop the fighting.
Six factories.
Yeah.
Just break it up.
Stop
Yeah.
the school fighting.
Yeah, it's estimated to be about 30,000 people. He said, go and peacefully stop the fighting between these 2 warring factions.
Please, workers.
Yes.
Not my army.
The workers are supposed to be, they would always have, the workers are the leaders. They would always have these sayings.
Yeah.
Aha.
We take order from the guy in the Ivory Castle.
Yeah.
Got it.
And
But yeah, it's a thing too, I guess, where you're going like in lieu of an army.
right.
And plus, you theoretically have 2 sides of your army fighting each other.
Yes.
So you can't, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like you gotta get the proletariat involved.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Some guy swinging a hammer is like, I gotta just peacefully hug a kid and get him to stop throwing chalk.
yeah.
I guess I can do that.
Smoke bombs.
So the workers, they showed up with their red books and their fists, and that was it. They were met with stones and bricks and acid and spears and guns and grenades.
Acid and grenades?
Yeah, homemade grenades. And one account says the workers suffered 18 fatalities, 1,100 were wounded, 30 were permanently disabled.
Oh my God!
And so they weren't able to stop the fighting. So Mao personally called for a meeting of the two Red Guard factions.
That would have been the first way to go.
You would think so.
On the basketball courts after school.
Yeah.
Also, school's out, so anytime.
Yeah.
And he, according to the story, he calls for a truce between the two groups and tearfully implies that maybe the Red Guards had outlived their usefulness.
Maybe it's the tear gas. Maybe it's just the sloppy juice.
It's not your fault, Doris.
I declare this land lunch ladyland.
The Independent Republic.
So, the workers are now in charge of an uneasy truce between these two Red Guard factions. And a week or so later, Pakistan's foreign minister visits Mao, and he brings with him a gift. Dozens of mangoes.
Oh.
And
Neat.
according to a historian, Alfreda Merck, who writes the definitive account of this story, she writes, she said, apparently Mao didn't like fruit. Mangoes are messy, so he would have needed someone to peel and slice them. It was an easy re-gift. And Mao sends the workers the mangoes.
The workers that got fucked up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who are now holding the truce together, right?
Got it.
And as you can imagine, the workers took this gift with restraint. They didn't overthink it at all.
Yeah, it's mangoes. Nice.
And if you do imagine that, you'd be completely wrong. Along with the mangoes, Mao told the workers they would be the permanent managers of education. They then stayed up throughout the night looking at, touching, and contemplating the meaning of the mangoes.
Okay.
The workers groups, they were called the Worker Peasant Mao Zedong Thought Propaganda Team, which is obviously
Rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, a professor was needed to think of a title, and he was dead, so you couldn't really.
Maybe he's saying man goes to work.
Yeah.
Man goes to live.
Yeah.
So the workers were they were so happy with these mangoes.
Are you being sarcastic?
I am not being sarcastic.
Okay.
And
They put some tahini on it or anything?
no. So first thing they did during the contemplation, they took a picture.
Oh, cool. I love pictures.
Hey, there's the book and there's the fucking... Oh, wow, he really spared no expense with 38 mangoes.
Yeah. It's
And they're holding their little books up.
they're holding little books up. They're all overjoyed. The writing on the picture around Mao says, "Respectfully wishing life without end to Chairman Mao," which is very pretty
He will
normal
later
thing you
die.
want to say.
Respectfully, we hope he lives forever.
Yes, respectfully wishing life forever.
No disrespect.
No,
I hope you live forever.
Yeah. I don't mean any disrespect by that at all.
At all.
But
They all got that Winter Soldier book in their hands.
yeah.
Boxcar.
No, those
Very
are Jack Handy's deep
Cool
nuts.
book.
And so
If you ever lose your keys in molten lava,
Just let them go, man.
because man, they're gone.
that's what they're saying.
Yeah, they're reading.
What if the hokey pokey is what it's all about?
Yeah, no, I don't even know what that means. No wonder he gave us mangoes.
Dance like nobody's looking.
Just kidding, don't dance.
I think he started that live, laugh, love stuff, right? That was Mao. Right?
Yeah.
Ow.
So the worker peasant Mao Zedong Thought Propaganda Team, they're posing around these mangoes. The workers then, after after everything calms down, they return to their factories, and then mangoes are sent to their factories as well.
Are you gonna pull up some mangoes? Oh
No, if only. And so I'm going to read you. Here's a quote. Here's a passage from Merck of quoting a worker at the factory. And so when the mangoes showed up, the worker. This is what is described as. The workers at the factory held a huge ceremony rich in the recitation of Mao's words to welcome the arrival of the mango, then sealed the fruit in wax, hoping to preserve it for posterity. The wax-covered fruit was placed on an altar in the factory auditorium. The workers lined up to file past it, solemnly bowing as they walked by. No one had thought to sterilize the mango before sealing it, however. After a few days on display, it began to show signs of rot.
No.
The Revolutionary Committee of the factory retrieved the rotting mango, peeled it, then boiled the flesh in a huge pot of water. Another ceremony was held, equally solemn. Mao again was greatly venerated, and the gift of the mango was lauded as evidence of the chairman's deep concern for the workers.
God almighty.
Then everyone in the factory filed up, and each worker drank a spoonful of the water in which the sacred mango had been boiled.
Ew, the rotting mango?
Well, it's a broth. It's a sacrament.
Matt,
it's a sacrament.
You can say it's rotting, boiling mango.
Oh, it is,
Mango
but it's a
piss.
sacrament.
Yeah.
You know, there's an ecclesiastical thing to
I bet
it.
some possum took a big shit.
Oh, dude, a rat. It was the year of the rat.
These guys are chugging it by the. These guys are
possum took a big shit.
Yeah, these guys are fucking. Yeah, they're ladling it back. Guys getting back in line to have more. You got any more of that mango shit water?
Sure, Bert.
So now that they had finished off the mango, they had no evidence of.
They didn't even get to eat the mango. They put it in wax, and then it started rotting.
Yeah.
So then they boiled the skin and drank that. They're missing the whole point of what a delicious fruit the mango
No,
is.
Aaron, you're missing the whole point, okay?
Okay.
The mango, whether you eat it or not, is not important. It is a symbol of Mao's kindness and care, and now they don't have one. So after that, the Revolutionary Committee ordered a wax model of the original mango. The replica was duly made and placed on the altar to replace the real fruit. Workers continued to file by, their veneration for the sacred object in no apparent way diminished.
Do you think like one of them like kind of did that Indiana Jones thing with it? Where okay, it's kind of the same.
Yeah.
Looking around for a giant ball.
Waiting for fucking spikes.
Only the penitent man shall cross.
And so after this, large quantities of wax mangoes were created, given to the good folks in the public. The gift of mangoes was announced in the state newspaper. Poems were written about how great they were, and the greatness of Mao. And so as we get into the story as it progresses, there's Merck in a footnote points out like this is for the workers this. And us listening now, it seems like a, fun, silly story. But if you are one of the scientists or the professors or on the other side of the line, the mango story is not so much fun.
It's not cute.
No.
Because you're talking about the murder.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it seems like the murder has basically subsided at this point, no?
No.
No, it's still purge time?
Oh, I mean, it's a cultural revolution, John.
And it's going to take a while.
You got to binge and
We
purge.
got to find any of
These
these
things
guys.
last longer than your run-of-the-mill mango.
Yeah.
That's true.
So, now the thing about mangoes in China is that they never existed. There were no mangoes in China.
Right. It was new shit. New shit had come to the table.
As Merck writes, in pre-dynastic and dynastic China, the mango tree did not grow in the regions where metaphors were being created. Therefore, had no presence in history and literature. Their cultural significance remained to be assigned.
Right.
And so they started getting called, like the peach had been the big fruit that would give you long life and had all of these associations with health and wellness. And the mango,
Peach for hours.
yeah. I mean, who doesn't like a good peach? I mean,
Come and take a bite of peach.
Sheesh. I could peach for hours.
and so the mangoes then started getting some of those associations. They would be called things like 1,000-year fruits, a rare bloom which, when eaten, would bring longevity. And, the fact that Mao didn't eat them and gave them to the workers only says what a fucking great guy he is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Respectfully.
Especially because around this time he's like 75 years old, and
Yeah.
he's quoted as saying that he's going to see Karl Marx soon.
Damn.
Boil me and then drink my skin.
And it says an emblem of a caring leader, an emblem that the workers were the chosen people.
Yes.
And so there would be these great giant mango parades where thousands of people would march, and there would be these like big signs with Mao and mangoes and all of these like fake mangoes surrounded by flowers, and just be like, this is this chosen symbol of caring and love and how lucky we all are.
I
Right.
have no idea what it fucking tastes like.
Yeah, right.
You don't know how they grow.
Right. And so suddenly mangoes were printed on everything. Plates, bowls, linens, textiles, like everything. If you wanted to give a good wedding gift, a tray with a picture of mango,
yeah.
and then they would have a phrase like, "With each mango, profound happiness."
Right.
You know, you break it open, there's a little
Chris Kattan in there.
yeah.
This year's hottest trend is mangoes.
That's really what it was.
Yeah.
Their facsimile mangoes were created. You could buy one, so you too could own a mango. It was a status symbol. If you had a mango, you were important. If you didn't have
Replica
one,
mango or
yeah,
actual mango?
replica mango.
Okay.
Oh, like a plastic.
Yeah, plastic one, or usually wax.
Here's our mango.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, on to the
There's
reading room.
There's a woman who
One book.
Guess what color it is?
There's a woman she was in school and her family didn't have a mango and she felt great shame.
That's the
damn.
most Chinese thing you've ever said in your life.
My hum, we did not have a mango. We felt great shame over this.
It's true though.
Yeah.
When she found one in a dumpster, she took it home. Someone had thrown it out. She's
fake
like, "We
one.
got one." Yeah. The state tobacco company created a brand called Mango brand cigarettes.
More of a red apple guy.
And now, so the news, this hot mango trend, it hadn't reached the entire country yet, you know, because the news didn't reach the really rural areas.
Sure, they're out there with their fucking pitchforks,
Yeah.
blind as a bat.
Yeah.
They don't know about
making pig iron,
good new trends
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah,
They're still
they're-
out there, you know, fucking
starving to death.
They're doing the Macarena or something. You know, they have no idea what's going on.
Yeah. They're still doing fucking whoop, there it is.
Doing the hoop.
God damn it, guys.
Whoops, the guy's name.
Yeah.
Whoop! There it is.
Yeah. They just found out about what's that. What's just new shit to them. Mm-hmm. They're a little behind on everything. Still a lot of Borat voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're still doing it to my wife. I love you, man. That kind of shit.
So propaganda teams, that's what they were called. They were sent throughout the country. With,
Oh, the worker peasant thought propaganda?
no, just this was their primary job.
Oh, okay.
Propaganda teams.
Actual
Yeah.
thought police.
Yeah.
Nice.
They were sent throughout the country with real and fake mangoes. And so we'd arrive in a town, and residents would stand in line for hours just to file past to get their chance to look at a mango. And then a day or two later, it'd be brought to another town. And some towns, they wouldn't even get a chance. It would just be on like a horse-drawn cart and just ride through the town, and that was their only.
You're shitting me.
Yes, yeah.
Everybody come out to look at the mango?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
The mango's coming through. The mango's coming through? Yeah. Mango's coming through.
I mean, you know, it's reminiscent of pedestrianism. Remember, that guy's walking to D.C. and then people are like, "He's walking through here today. Let's all see him."
He's and here he comes.
Morpheus is fighting Neo. And they've got a mango. Whoa.
Morpheus is eating a mango. And so, you know, these events, they would be ripe for fanatics. And so there'd be music and dancing and to accompany the arrival of the mangoes. In one town in Sichuan province, a man recalled that he was a 12-year-old boy at the time, and he was excited to see the mango. And he saw the mango.
Fucked it.
And he was like, "Oh, no, that's not." He's like, "It kind of looks like shriveled up potato." But he didn't say it because he was like, "I don't think I should say anything."
Don't say that shit.
And
The emperor wears no mangoes.
and the next day, his uncle bursts into his house and he says, "Hey, you remember the dentist, the only dentist in town, the guy who fixed my teeth?" And he said that the soldiers had arrested him and that Dr. Han had saw the mango. He wasn't impressed and he said it looked like a sweet potato. He was tried for blasphemy. He was found guilty. He was taken out to a field and shot.
Holy fuck.
His 3 sons were sent to the countryside and his wife died of grief.
She died of grief. Wow.
And for decades, the town wouldn't talk politics. They'd be like, "Nah, let's just not. I mean, it'd probably be better if we just didn't say anything."
Yeah. Is the mango impressive becomes politics.
Yeah.
Yes.
Rough stuff.
Yeah.
Rough stuff.
And by the end, a
Sweet
year.
potato farmers run the country. Fucking genocide.
The kid's going, I was gonna say that.
Yeah.
And I could be out in a field dead.
Yeah. And my whole family then out in a field working
Yeah.
in another place.
And my mother grieve.
And yet, by the end of 1969, just a year later, the mango had disappeared from party political announcements. It was still held in some regard by the public until Mao's death in 1976.
It's probably taking a little too much limelight from Mao. It's like they're kind of getting more into my fruit than me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, I think
hesitate to even use the word limelight.
When is the mango writing a little book?
Mao, I believe he is said to have, when he was told the story of the importance of the mango, he chuckled.
Cute.
He's like, he's like, bring the next girl in here to suck my dick.
Or boy, whatever.
I don't care.
Just make sure they hold the book over their face when they do it.
God.
It's 1976. Mao dies, and his wife briefly tries to resurrect the mango. She sends it to workers and has a song written about it. But
Ooh, can we get the clip?
I don't. I forgot to look it up. Maybe we'll bring it up for a Patreon. And then the leaders, all the Gang of Four, were arrested. After he died, after Mao died, they were all put on trial. And then a giant industry.
The Gang of Four that was selected by him?
Yeah,
But why?
because after Mao died, there was
some comeuppance?
There was this and it would take years and years, but there was this reevaluation. There's this giant industry of reevaluating.
It's like post-Stalin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as Mao was reevaluated, it became politically and personally prudent to now distance yourself from Mao related stuff. And so the mangoes started getting thrown away.
Yeah.
And they would largely disappear, though Merck tells the story of one woman who didn't have the mango. One day the power was out, and they didn't have any candles, so her dad went down to the store and got a bunch of wax mangoes and just used them as candles.
Set him on fire. Good for him.
And
Scented?
what's that?
Scented?
Yeah, mango.
Yeah, if only, yeah.
Yeah,
Probably smelled like shit.
Yeah, it's rat shit.
Yeah. But today
It
mangoes...
smells like possum. Weird.
It smells like a pregnant possum piss.
Mind if I have a swig? For old time's sake, remember?
This takes me back. Throwing sulfuric acid in it.
After a long day of throwing acid and grenades at some pig iron workers, nothing cools off the old brow like a fresh boiled possum piss mango soup stew.
Yeah.
That's back like in school again.
And today mangoes are widely available in China, and there's a...
They're one of, if not the most popular fruit in the world.
I do. I eat mango almost every morning. It's
wonderful.
Delicious. It's
Now,
fibrous.
do you get it pre-sliced? You get it sliced up for you?
I do, just because the act of slicing it, I feel like it's not. It doesn't save me any money.
There are people who are better at it than we are,
yeah.
And I'm not saying what race they are, John. Shut up.
I didn't say or
You chuckled as if.
No, I was chuckling at him saying, what did you say about slicing it?
It doesn't save me any money.
So you buy it sliced.
Yeah.
So what racist diatribe did you launch into then?
Nothing. Nothing at all. I said there are people that are better at cutting up mangoes.
Yes.
Like,
Professionals.
Yeah. And then
Grocery store
do you like to throw a little tahini on
I do,
it or a little lime juice or
because
something?
it helps with the blood pressure too.
It brings. Are you worried? You got the.
I got the low.
You get the low, so you
I
get
get
more
salt on stuff. It's great.
That's good.
Yeah,
It's very
Good.
nice.
Mangoes are good.
and I'm hard all the time. I think that's a side effect.
You're hard all the time.
Yeah.
Really? Wow, cool.
Well, that mango probably makes your cum taste good.
You know it does.
Yeah, for sure.
I know it does.
Yeah. Well, I'll figure it out one day.
Yeah, you'll get there.
I'll try it.
I believe
Yeah.
you. Anyway, that's the story of the mango cult, of Mao's mango cult.
Mao's cool mango cult. I like that.
Yeah.
I'm into that. Let's take a break and then we'll come back and I got some bullshit.
Cool.
Be right back, folks. And we're back. Now, fellas, are you familiar with the Skinheads?
Hey, a band?
Like Kanye West? It was he had released an album, Black Skinhead.
Did he?
He did.
Oh, cool.
Nightmare.
Yeah. But then he saw 21 Jump Street.
So in skinhead subculture, there would be an occasional black skinhead. Skinheads were really kind of started in the 60s, and it was like, in street culture in London, they had like teddy boys and mods and stuff like that. And
Teddy
what are the
boys?
teddy boys?
teddy boys were like greaser kind of guys.
Okay,
stuff
so
like that.
leather jackets,
Yeah, it was.
pomade,
Yeah. And
the mods were more fancy style dressed.
let's see. The teddy boys. Yeah, it was more like greaser looking.
Okay.
You had the hair,
Yeah.
very Elvis-y sort of
Right.
hair, and then like these would be teddy boy. You can't really see.
Yeah. You gotta fucking drop it sideways or something.
And there was a thing with it's like those kinds of dudes.
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah. Sure.
And the thing with like punks and skins and teddy boys and they all would be fighting each other in the streets. You know what I mean?
Cool.
Over mangoes. Or?
Yeah.
It was really and like that's kind of what they're making fun of in Clockwork Orange. Was like that really stupid fashion stuff. Like it was meant to be like, and which is ironic because punks and skins all loved it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even though it was clearly lampooning them. It's like,
it's
this guy's got a bowler hat and a fucking diaper on.
It's
like he looks so fucking dumb.
It's their version of Scarface.
Yeah, they don't get it.
They don't get it.
They don't get it at all. And so the skinhead thing was, a lot of it was tied in with reggae, and that was because a lot of those guys were like dock workers, and they would work with Jamaican guys and stuff, and so they would hear like the ska and the reggae and all that sort of stuff. And then it was like it was also very much like we're not long hairs. So there was the skinhead thing. To work in a factory, you couldn't have long hair.
Right.
I don't catch in the show.
So, and there was this aspect of it that was sort of the uniform of it per se being Doc Martens, the work boots, then the stovepipe jeans that are creased, cuffed. The braces going over like a t-shirt or
Meaning suspenders, like
suspenders, going over like a
wife
Ben
beater.
Sherman polo. So there was like aspects of it that were still like very fashion conscious.
of course.
You know what I mean? Like all of the movements, but this one ironically was very much about being working class. And it wasn't until much later really that the fascist imprint got put on it, but it sang so much louder.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because once there was a bunch of disaffected, British youth in like conservative, working class, but very, Tory areas. They had this thing where they were like, fucking, we come from racist people, and but we like being louts at the pub. Fuck the punks because they're like lefties or fuck the hip or whatever. But also we like the violence that came around with like you would have two different groups of people burning trash cans for different reasons.
None of them for warmth.
And then really, what they couldn't see was that what they had in common
Yeah.
was their love for burning trash cans.
Yeah.
There's so much more uniting them than they ever
But there would be that thing within skinhead culture where it was like there was the guys that were going like, oh no, this very much came from black culture as much as working class pub culture. So they were diametrically opposed to racism, and so then they started getting known as sharps, skinheads against racial prejudice. And then you would have the Nazi skins. This is more towards the 80s, and in that like unemployment doubled under Thatcher. So you had like fucking, I think like 3%, like unemployed, with like young men or whatever. That was not percent. It was 1.5 million. It went to 3 million.
There we go.
Not percent. And so it was just kind of like very much during her time of breaking the unions. When Reagan was going after the air traffic control people, she was going after miners.
Yeah, the miners. Yeah.
Smart.
Which and to clarify, in today's parlance,
miners.
People who worked in the mines, not children.
Which historically were miners.
It has long been known.
Yeah. But so yeah, that was so then you would have a thing where there would be like what color braces or suspenders they had on would indicate if they were fascist or not. And then a lot of them fucking, just total cowards would be like, oh, we're apolitical.
We wear belts.
Apolitical skin. It's like, come on. That just means I don't want anybody to kick my ass.
Right.
Yeah, that's a form of politics.
But I still want to.
Well, we wear the Mork and Mindy suspenders.
Yeah.
It's just,
They're the people that they say they want nothing, John.
yeah.
Nothing.
But they're, it's just a cowardly way to do it.
Well, I don't know. Maybe you just don't want to get beaten up.
Yeah. But
It's not the worst way to live through life.
No, but I mean, it is a thing where you're going into.
Wear a belt.
Yeah, that's.
But like most of the culture, was I'm not saying it's all about fighting, but it was definitely. It's definitely part of the culture.
Sure.
Even on the non-racist side.
Even the pacifists.
And so then their music style was, if it wasn't like ska, it would be oi. It's called oi. Mm-hmm. And that was just like an extension of like regular pub rock.
Uh-huh.
Sounds Australian.
But then it had a thing too where like after punk where it became almost like American hardcore because it was like much more like hard-edged and more like slam dancey.
Okay.
It wouldn't be like... the wild kind of sounding Sex Pistols stuff, it'd be like more like, it'd be kind of like, it got more hard edged. But then some of it was still very melodic and very singy and stuff like that. There was, one band that was a punk band called Screwdriver with a K, SK.
Oh.
And they were a punk band.
K is silent.
And the guy reformed them. They're kind of like the most famous like Nazi punk band. The guy. So
what? You brushed over it, but
yeah,
what was it? It was like where? How did the aesthetic meet the Nazism? The neo-Nazi.
Yeah.
It was like a thing where it was like, all right, well, it's like
just
socialism and National Socialism. The thing is like we all look like it's a uniform,
right?
So it was easy kind of to be like, and then it's about like like the pub culture and stuff like that. And then like I said, there would be some people that were going like, they liked the style, but they were also into fucked up politics,
right.
And they were in these enclaves where that shit sells, We're pissed that there's Pakistanis all over this part of London.
Got it. They're not bringing any fucking mangoes.
No. No, we will eat their food. It's delicious.
So, then and so like there was a lot of things like in British far right politics, like electoral politics, where they had to distance themselves from this kind of thing. So then the far right was like, all right, well now we're just going to mobilize like on the street. And be very much like homegrown militias. So they were like scary organized, and it started with this group called the British Movement or BM.
Nice.
And
the Workers Collective, the BMWC, of course.
The BMWC.
Yeah.
Oh yes, of course, yes.
Water closet.
Yes, very
Bowel
nice.
Movement water closet. I was just spelling it out for everybody.
Yeah, thank you.
So yeah, there was that was kind of the setup for this guy who was born 1958, one of 10 children, and his nickname was Nicola Vincenzo Crane, and he had an Italian mom.
That checks out.
And he was his dad, was the Crane part of it, and
his dad fucked his mom.
He very quickly became part of the skinhead scene growing up, and one of the early skinhead bands was Sham 69. He would be going to their shows, and
he came out of the womb just skinhead.
Yeah.
So like
he's born to.
I think even before it got like it was still like skinheads were just they were gonna fuck shit up, and it has crossover with football hooligan culture too.
Oh yeah.
Which also gets very racist, but it's still very pub lad type shit, and so the late 70s, they're getting more like tied to like the National Front and stuff, and a lot of these guys, like I said, that came from politics, were very into organizing these guys in a very like Gestapo-ish way. Mm-hmm. Like they liked the idea of having a bunch of guys like street thugs, and
like the Proud Boys.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Mobilizing a bunch of disaffected young men during a time of economic and unemployment crises.
Yeah. That sounds familiar.
So this guy, Michael McLaughlin, was leading the British movement at the time, and he would specifically go to like football pitches and stuff, and get the skinheads and football hooligans. And this guy Crane was one of the converts, and he was like, Adolf Hitler was my god. Everything I did was for Adolf Hitler.
The failure?
Yeah, and so he was. Within 6 months, Crane is an organizer in Kent for the British movement, and that includes organizing attacks on political opponents and minority groups. And he would start
Organizing attacks, not organizing a tax.
attacks.
If only.
It's all right. We got to tax you, fellas.
Yeah.
In blood.
They're like, oh yeah, they don't have it. They don't have it bad enough. We better get our shit together.
And so then, like, he was like, almost like this, like, Praetorian Guard of the leadership too. Like, like they called it the Leader Guard, and it was basically like, the Secret Service for these neo-Nazi, politicians to have like the scariest guys around them.
Sure.
And this guy was, like 6'2", and just a big fucking guy, very intimidating, he was pretty fucking vicious, man. And he had Nazi tattoos all over him. And he was working as a binman.
Trash man?
Yes. And he just got a rep for being like kind of the sickest fuck out there. He attacked a black family at a bus stop in Bishopsgate with broken bottles, and when he was got sent up for that, the judge of the Old Bailey said he was worse than an animal.
Worse than a what?
Worse than an animal.
Animal. Oh.
Yeah.
No, he didn't say which animal.
And then there was like kind of like an Asian street market going on in Brick Lane. He led a mob of 200 skinheads to attack that. And he said, we rampaged down the lane, turning over stalls, kicking and punching Pakistanis. Jeez. Really, really scary. Prosecutor at the Old Bailey again said this was a serious, organized, and premeditated riot. And it was really scary stuff. I don't think anybody was killed, luckily, in that. 1981, he went back to jail again. He was jailed for attacking a bunch of black kids at the Woolwich station. And he gave him a 4-year sentence. While he's getting sentenced, one of his friends starts standing up and sig-heiling, screaming, and
best and brightest, huh?
And while he's in there, he's still fucking just as nasty, and he attacks a bunch of prison officers with a metal tray, and
not because the food was bad.
Yeah, boiled burgers.
What?
All right.
Boiled mango skin juice skimmed from the top.
Pregnant possum piss all shit. I think I'm gonna like jail.
Next thing you're gonna tell me I get free anal sex. Thanks, that joy.
So and he's this just like in these circles, like, this just gets you mad respect. You know what I mean? It was like, this guy's not just talking. You know what I mean?
Yeah, a lot of book reading isn't being done.
Yeah, he was also pretty dumb, so he actually couldn't talk.
I'm sorry.
He was actually pretty dumb, so he actually couldn't talk.
He couldn't talk?
Mm-hmm.
He was known as...
Let the trays do the talking.
Somebody said he was... he was not the most articulate of people. It would be yes or no. It was difficult to have anything but the most superficial conversation with him.
Black bad.
White.
Boiled burger good. Brown bad. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm just a simple bin man. Your progressive politics driving and scare me.
These guys trying to throw out the garbage. I'm trying not to eat it. Garbage good. So the thing was that like as these sorts of attacks are ramping up, there's also a lot of stuff going on like rock against racism sort of stuff, and there's more street type stuff where people are going like, okay, if there's an organized attack of 200 skinheads here, like you have to do an antifa.
Yeah,
there's no choice.
Mm-hmm.
There's always those people that talk all that shit, being like, oh, I wish I had been there, and it's like, okay, well now
that's how the band The Police was formed, right?
Yeah,
is that true?
No, I'm just making that up because it's funny because they need a police force.
Right.
Ska.
And Sting.
reggae.
It'd be good if they got Sting in there in my book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put him right out front. Put him in the vanguard.
Oh, then he'd be in dire straits.
Have him drive the van. It's a police van.
Damn it.
You don't have to put on the red light because they'll blow right through it because they're the police. The only way you reach them is by sending a message in a bottle.
Or an SOS.
Yeah.
He
Don't stand so close to them because they're the police. You got another song?
So yeah, he's got a thing where it's like now they're starting to fight back, basically. Like that version of what it was ostensibly Antifa was starting to fight back. So they could
Skinhead on skinhead? Or not necessarily skinhead.
Not necessarily skinheads, but yeah, it could be some. And so like there was one thing where there was basically like a anti-fascist rock event, and I think Bob Geldof was there and got knocked out by Nicky. There's a picture of him like actually like rushing the stage on another guy that this guy gets.
Was Bob Geldof a record executive or something?
He was the one that he put together. He was in the Boomtown Rats, and then I think he put together what was it, Live Aid?
Yeah.
Or like We Are the World, or one of those things.
Bullshit things. Yeah. Farm Aid.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
So then in 1981, there's this guy puts together a Oi compilation. And it's
that's what I call music volume 3.
And it's got like a bunch of bands that are not racist bands on it, like
cool.
The Foreskins, Coxbar, and
Coxbar.
Last Resort. Foreskins is just one of the best names ever.
It's a great name.
They're all drummers. Four skins.
This guy puts together this comp from bands in the Oi scene, and this guy Nicky just had like the right look, and so they had this like very iconic picture of him taken on the cover
of Oi, that's what I call music volume 3.
It's called Strength Through Oi.
Oh Christ! No, Aaron, that's way better.
Yeah,
yours is way better.
Yeah. You got the Backstreet Ois. You got Ois to Man.
That's very good.
Well, let's see it, man.
I'm pulling it up. Hold on, I couldn't expand the one.
You got a pinch.
But so they didn't realize this guy was a Nazi apparently, and they had to airbrush out all once they
all
saw
suspenders,
all the tattoos. So it's that
they'd airbrush the tattoos out.
So
just use a different picture, guys.
So it's just him looking like a tough ass, and he looks all pissed and snarly, and he's got his boot up, and he's wearing the jeans and no shirt, and it's just a good old fashioned scary time.
Yeah, real Oi.
And so the label, it comes out, the label's like, we got to fucking pull this record.
Yeah.
And then it became like a huge collector thing because it was like, that's how collectors are.
Mm-hmm.
But he was actually like, then it was like a poster. So he was actually like a skinhead poster boy. You know what I mean? Like he had like
great job.
He had, he had the look and he had the charisma, and he was just.
It says a lot about the Nazi, the skinhead charisma that it's
the guy who couldn't speak.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he was he was then really close with Screwdriver and the singer Ian Stewart Donaldson, and
no relation to Chris.
Yeah, when they had they put out an album called Hail the New Dawn, bullshit like that.
Hail the New Dawn?
Yeah, the new dawn of like
Thatcher's England.
Yeah, and you're like, okay. And Nicky wrote a song on it called Justice that was about like, oh, the cops they jail us for fighting for our country, like that sort of thing.
Yes. No.
Sounds like Bono.
Him and Ian Donaldson, they start a basically like it's like a zine and like a sort of a network called Blood and Honor, which is the slogan of Hitler Youth.
Oh, God.
And it was just
no new ideas among these people.
Just uniting all the fascist bands, you know? And
oh, God, they're just.
I mean,
so
when a
fucking
formula
lame.
works, I guess
Which one? Fascism?
Yeah. For a period of time it did. Right?
Yeah.
And it worked really well for, I guess do what has worked before and you'll
maybe you'll
get the people you want.
You too can kill yourself and
also you too can go kill yourself. I'm just kidding. You two's pretty.
No, they had a hand in the peace accords, apparently.
The Good Friday?
Yeah.
Maybe. I haven't read
Bono
that.
says it.
Yeah. Of course he does. Idiot.
He's asleep behind those sunglasses.
So it was actually Ken Livingstone in '84 who put on the open air concert that was and it was to protest against unemployment and what do you call it, the spending cuts,
austerity.
Yeah.
And so all these people come out.
Everybody can show up because they're unemployed.
Yeah.
Right. So Billy Bragg's there, the Smiths are there, and so they were like there was a socialist skinhead band called the Redskins. You know what you mean? Like
a Catholic one called the Foreskin.
Yeah.
They're like, we're to fight racism and fascism. What's your name? The Redskins. Like, okay.
Well, they're not American, so that counts for something, I guess.
So this is again, peaceful gathering people to listen to music, and 100 skinheads come in, and just everybody's a target. Just kick the fuck out of everybody.
Yeah.
With those steel-toe docks.
Yeah. And so
good day for a bald man.
it just so happens that some of those striking miners from Yorkshire were there.
Oh, yeah, those guys can fight.
And those guys don't fuck around.
Yeah.
So
Strike.
So they basically become secure. They're like basically security. They're not doing anything else. And then there's also a group called Red Action, and so they're starting to fight back. And then Crane gets everybody together again. And he charges the second stage, and they got a bunch of beer bottles and stuff. And
this guy always finds the trash.
Yeah, well, he's
the
an
big
expert.
man.
Yeah,
and
he knows where the trash is in every location.
He's got that spidey sense.
Yeah.
So and then like they're getting beaten again from the second stage, and then Crane just goes off on his own, and he's just shirtless and just beating the shit out of random people.
Crane smash.
Yeah. And so then he tries to get onto the stage, and he escaped the crowd by grabbing a left-wing activist woman and using her as a human shield.
Jesus Christ.
Was she a great big fat person?
And so they found another skinhead in the crowd after he made his escape, and this guy he unzipped his jacket, and on his jacket he just had the words Nicky Crane on it. It was like that's my hero.
Inside on his skin.
Yeah, no on his shirt.
Oh, okay.
And so then these guys are like, okay, well we don't have him, so you'll do, and they just beat the fucking shit out of him.
All right.
And Crane is photographed there, attacking everybody, never prosecuted. So yeah, there's just more and more of these anti-fascist groups fighting with these skinhead groups, and they said that they did like had some like Jewish Remembrance Day ceremony that he attacked people, And
on brand.
Yeah, and he said another time we saw me and my friend saw a left-wing activist on the tube. Me and a few mates beat him really badly. Even though he said even though he wasn't moving, we all kept jumping on his head. I think he survived. It must have been a miracle.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, technically, if he was on the tube, he was moving.
Yeah, that's important, and hopefully towards a hospital. This guy, I don't think he's a good guy.
No, he does not seem to be.
No.
He's tight with this Screwdriver crew, and he's the head of security for them, and he started making the cover art too, as well as writing crybaby lyrics and
crybaby lyrics.
Like I said about the cops arresting skinheads.
Oh, okay.
Nicky is.
Nicky was writing
In
lyrics and
jail.
No. This is one of the times he's out.
Can I look some of those up? Do you know which ones?
Justice by Screwdriver with. It's stupid.
It's a riff on the Richard Pryor joke?
I'm sure it's not. So there's an anti-fascist magazine, and it's called Searchlight, and their job is to have the rundown on all the Nazis.
Okay.
So the Nazis all buy Searchlight because it's like,
well, how we can find other Nazis?
Well, it's like, but it's also like, hey, we're famous. Like, if you got it in Searchlight, it means you're doing the right thing.
Right.
So it's their version of like a tabloid.
Right. Check it out.
They're like, oh, Searchlight. You know what I mean? So
it's like if you're like a child molester and you make America's Most Wanted, and you're like, oh, check me out, dude.
Yeah.
There's a very shitty drawing of me there.
Yeah, you're not gonna make Jeopardy.
No.
Yeah, but
you might.
Well.
These guys are all fucking greedily running to go get it when it comes out, even though it's dead set against their existence. So they have a feature in April '85 on Nicky Crane, and it talks about the concert, the South London attacks, the jail sentences. The magazine revealed it had received a Christmas card from him during his time on the Isle of Wight, in which he proclaimed his continued allegiance to the British movement tradition, which is to say, terrible violence.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a tradition, after all.
So he sends them, they all read it that much, that he sends them a Christmas card, and it's like, in that weird way, they're there for each other.
Yeah.
It's like a weird thing where you're going like, who's this for?
Bro love.
So they end the piece on him by saying, on Thursday nights he can be found at the Heaven Disco in Charing Cross, which is
gay bar.
Correct. Yeah.
So they write that he can be found there.
Yeah.
And is that fake? Is that a lie?
No, he's doing the door.
And who's the door?
So it's not like the Manhunter thing, where in Manhunter they purposely write like, also maybe probably gay.
Oh no, they definitely meant that. They definitely meant that. But now here's the thing.
But he really was there, but he was working the door.
He was working the door.
Front or back?
But he
very good.
He started working the door because he was just going there.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Back.
Yeah.
And front.
So the thing is,
you want to get in, you got to go through me.
I'm the bin man.
Please.
You got to bin me.
But everybody just doesn't say anything about it because they're going like, all right, well, are we going to believe Nicky or are we going to believe Searchlight, run by a bunch of anti-fascists, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this guy loves putting his bare meat on other guys' bodies repeatedly until somebody goes limp.
Yeah.
Can't be gay.
Well, that was kind of the thing they were saying. To be gay was like you had to be effeminate, and he was the least effeminate guy.
Right.
Now, also,
when we all know that it's the most masculine thing you can do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Duh.
Yeah.
Yes. The gayest thing you can do is have a kid.
Yeah. With a woman.
Yeah.
Gay.
Yeah.
Oof.
Everyone's dad is gay.
That's why they have a phone number for him.
Yeah. 911. Newsflash. You're gay, Dad.
Also, this phone's for you.
So he could also say like, oh, I do security. Skinheads are always security guys.
Yeah.
They like fighting.
Yeah.
But he was like, oh, my security firm sends me there. Like, whatever. You can say he saw me there, fucking whatever.
I was firm.
Yeah, they saw him there fucking whatever.
But nobody also is going to say anything because he's the scariest guy.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. His weakness is men.
Well, probably just white men. But...
Dude, I bet you he loves Black Hawk.
Oh, yeah.
Why
wouldn't put it past him.
Why wouldn't he?
Yeah.
John, you're notably silent.
What? Wait, I didn't hear what you said.
Oh, I said he probably loves the Black Hawk.
No, I don't know about that.
I bet he does.
But I know that basically when he was there, he kept a very low profile. It's not as if he was in the gay bar being like, "Oh, you're Pakistani, eh?" You know?
That's not called a cock.
You know, like he was shy and pretty quiet, and a lot of guys are like, fucking. There's a thing there too where you go like,
you smell like trash, bruv. Smell like a bin.
You bit him out.
It's because I'm a bit of a cunt. Ain't I?
Yeah. This guy goes, Mom, I hit a shop in Soho. People come in and say, "Have you heard Nicky's gay?" He would say, "He works around the corner. Why don't you go and ask him?" Of course, they never did. So it's like,
he works around the corner. You know what that means?
And so they just couldn't square it in their heads. They were like, "There's no way that guy can be gay.
Right.
He's the scariest one of us."
Yeah, he's ripped. No way he's gay.
So, I mean, it's 1987 when him and Donaldson from Screwdriver set up Blood and Honor. And, they're selling T-shirts and records and flags and...
mesh tank tops.
Selling tons, too, by the way. Like, here's the thing, like...
Tight pants.
Like, this was, like, a really dangerous movement. Like, they were very organized. It was not a joke.
Yeah.
And there was, real politicians at the very top of it with very real agendas.
Mm-hmm.
Completely. I can't picture it in today's America.
I can never imagine it here in the US of A.
And so then in October 97, Searchlight said, Crane, the right's finest example of a clinical psychopath, is also engaged in building a gay skins movement, which meets on Friday nights at a pub in East London.
Gay skins.
So the neo-Nazis still don't say a fucking word.
They had a talk show called Skin to Skin.
Yeah.
Skin on Skin. Where local like-minded skinhead homosexuals have open, honest, and frank discussions about how to move forward the British movement.
And backward.
God. So the gay community now is like taking notice of him too. He's been around for a while, and they're going like, people are going like, you're fucking.
What a hottie.
But there's
he's a bad boy.
Don't they sound like that?
I can fix him.
Yeah,
well, there's a thing there too. Is that like? So they're saying like somebody says later in this article from the BBC, they're like, if you did a version of the Village People now, one of them would be a skinhead.
Yes.
Yeah, because
of course.
Because there's a thing there too.
The leather guy is borderline that anyway.
Yeah, he never takes his hat
right.
off. But
there's a thing where it's like there's a part of you that's like the scary guy that looks like he's gonna gay bash me. There's also a fetish that's like I hope he does. I hope he kind of gay bashes me with his
cock,
big crazy
possibly uncut.
Yeah.
With a big old Prince Albert in it.
Right.
A master lock. You ever see that?
Yeah.
The master lock Prince Albert?
Yeah. So,
I have.
Yeah, you gotta... Who holds the key?
So, so there's this thing where it's like, and also like, it's very like, they have tight clothing on.
Yeah, they do.
And they're even to calisthenics and suspenders over bare skin.
Yeah, they're in good shape. It's like, you see those Right Said Fred guys. And
those are basically...
Yeah.
That's him.
They work hard and they play hard.
When you told me who he was and you showed me that picture, I was like, this is the guy who's too sexy for the Browns.
Yeah.
I'm too sexy for the dough. Like, he's just that guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's it's very similar to like the the Freddie Mercury co-opting like the Castro look of like the tight jeans, the mustache,
right.
the cop look. The embracing of machismo,
yes,
of gay culture in the 80s.
Yeah. So what's interesting here is with this double life, what starts happening is, he went to like some anti-fascist people saw him at like a pride thing, and they're like, "You get the fuck out of here," and so he starts getting pushed out of the gay community and not the Nazi community.
Yeah, but this ties in with all of the
gays
other...
are real Nazis about who can join.
It's like with Dan Burrows and
they just deny.
They're like, well, this guy's a big help to our organization, so we'll be open-minded about. He's really racist. I swear to God, he's really racist.
He's good. He's gotta be really the best of us if we let him in.
Yeah.
So there's they're having a Bloody Sunday commemoration in Irish part of London, and the skinheads don't like the Irish. Screwdriver had a song called "Smash the IRA," and remember the victims and the victims of their bombings or whatever.
That's what the Screwdriver sounds like.
Yeah, they're really bad.
Oh,
like abysmally. Like the thing is, when you can't really think, you also can't write good songs.
Yeah.
So like a bunch of kids, on SoulSeek and stuff that were into like punk and hardcore, like some of them like to be bad would have like white power folders, and I'd be like, okay, let's listen.
Maybe there's a good song.
Not a fucking like. The thing is like, if there was a Nazi band that sounded like Pantera, we'd all be in a lot of trouble. You know what I mean? Like we'd be in a lot of trouble.
This is pretty good stuff.
Yeah. We'd be like,
shit.
Yeah. Walk.
Yeah.
Fucking. But instead it's some guy with he writes a song. He got his head kicked in by a donkey. Just totally retarded.
The donkey
doesn't know how to fucking do anything.
I found that Justice song from Screwdriver. Do you want to hear the lyrics?
Yeah. You want to read them?
Sure.
Sing 'em.
My knees feel weak as I'm dragged from the dock. My poor mother's screams numb me with shock. One by one they lock us all away. Trumped up charges is the game they play. This is the chorus. Call that justice, well, it ain't fair. How much longer before you care? Call that justice from an alien judge. Jailed for fighting for the land you love.
Alien judge means
immigrant.
Yeah. And I can't imagine there were that many. Stripped in a cell, you're shackled in chains, lost your dignity, but trying to keep sane. A degrading regime if you speak your mind. If you don't agree, they'll give you time.
Just basic ABA.
Yeah, but it's just so funny how much they cry about
everything.
Well, I mean, the police force. It's like they're plenty racist.
The police force is incredibly racist.
Yeah.
So call this democracy, the land of free speech. Equality and freedom is what they preach. Here's the reality: an alien state, locked up patriots behind camp gates. Jailed for fighting for the land you love. Jailed for fighting for the land you love. Equality and freedom is what they preach. He's complaining that they're not doing that by locking him up?
Yeah, and you don't like Camp Gates all of a sudden?
Yeah.
Isn't that kind of your thing?
But equality and freedom is what he's against.
Yeah.
Why is he surprised?
Equality?
Why is he surprised?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, man, if Pantera wrote Camp Gates instead of Cemetery Gates, we'd be fucked. Because that song rules.
So he goes to this Irish thing to fuck things up.
Could you imagine if fucking Danzig was a skinhead and he wrote Mother and it just had...
It would be Father.
Yeah, God damn. I think we'd all be Nazis.
Yeah, we'd all have real bad politics. Yeah.
Führer!
Oh, man. Somebody write that.
Yeah, we'd be like, why does it sound so good if he's wrong?
It can't be.
Can't be.
I want him to take my daughter out tonight.
Alien judge.
Alien judge.
If you want some skinheads with me.
Yeah.
Oh.
Return of the Whites. With Vincent Price. It's Vincent Price talking about
talking about the virtues of
faith, family, and folk.
Cool.
Blood and honor.
The wolves of summer
You can cook the fish in your dishwasher.
and Jews.
So he starts getting hit by the anti-fascists and he gets out of there, and then he jumps into a cab and somebody else sees him and they pull him out and he gets stomped bad and they beat him unconscious. And
Which
wasn't too hard. He wasn't very few levels above conscious in the first place.
I think they threw him under a bus.
Oh my god!
I think literally threw
and
him
in London they have those big double deckers.
It's a hell of a bus.
Filled with Asians.
Taking pictures. They made a flip book. That was the beat of the next screwdriver's head.
So those guys actually got like 4 years, 3 years. Like they gave this guy, they gave all those guys a lot of time. This guy's on camera, like rushing musicians on stage. Doesn't do time for any of that shit. And so he actually testified against these guys, and that's not what you do.
Oh, he
testified.
Takeshi 6ix9ine.
He did, and so that was kind of like the first signal that he was going to break away from Nazi stuff, because now it's like I'm getting my ass kicked and I'm not getting my dick sucked, and that ain't gonna do.
Yeah, I mean, you would think you want to go back to jail.
Well, you could do both.
And so yeah, another time anti-fascists turned up at a Blood and Honor gig, and he just bailed. He ran, and people were like, "What the fuck?"
Look at the way he runs.
And then he was really well known with the Strength Through Oil cover and being a poster boy. And so then he spent a lot of time in Thailand.
Oh,
that's in.
Which is Strength Through Boy.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I'm not gay. I'm having sex with the lady boy.
Yeah.
No, I don't like it when they dress like ladies.
Yeah. He's having sex with this fucking 14-year-old, and he's going, when I'm at home, I actually beat up Asians.
Since it's your land. I'm the Englishman in New York. That was Sting, I think.
Is your name Sting?
It's Ting.
So then he comes back and he does some amateur gay porn videos that are skinhead themed.
That was my next fucking guess.
Yeah.
He was the poster boy, then he went to Centerfold.
And so he that's right, yeah.
Fucking knew it.
He just doesn't care anymore.
Was he in N-Word's Revenge? Possibly.
No.
Did he want to be? Yes.
So Channel 4,
if he knew words.
Save water, drink piss.
So Channel 4 does a series called Out about gay and lesbian stuff in the UK.
Oh.
And on the 27th of July, 1992, the episode was about gay skinhead subculture, and the star attraction was Nicky Crane.
Wow.
And
straight from Thailand.
So the
with his hand over his face.
You'll never know who it is.
So it first goes to, and this is great too. God bless them at Channel 4 for doing this. First they go to Ian Stewart Donaldson, who doesn't know.
Oh, that's great.
His bandmate?
Well, he's basically in the band, but he's not.
He's writing part.
And he's also he's running that Blood and Honor thing.
Yeah.
With him. So he's like, I don't even know gay skinheads exist, and they talk to the National Front leader.
Genius.
Well, it's funny you should say that.
Yeah, we got a couple of videos we want to show you. And
you know what videos are, right?
And so then it goes to Crane, and he said, Nicky said, I knew I was gay back in the earliest British movement days, and he started being uneasy about the homophobia in the movement, and he said, I think he said he didn't have sex with a man until he was 26, and then that's when he really felt like a hypocrite, because the movement was so not about that.
Yeah.
The man was Pakistani.
And he goes, so I just couldn't stay in it. And
He said it was blood and honor, not come in him. Blood, honor, come in him.
Honor. Got it. Okay. Yeah.
Guys, come on, guys. Gotta try and keep up. Gotta try and keep up, all right?
It's okay.
I'll follow you for the
Okay.
changes.
Yeah. And he goes, the views I've got now is I believe in individualism, and I don't care if anyone's black, Jewish, or anything.
I just give the guy.
I either like or dislike a person as an individual, not what their color is or anything.
Pretty big 180, huh?
Yeah.
So the Sun
The newspaper?
Major newspaper.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Has a story. Nazi Nick is a pansy, and they spell it like Panzer tank.
Oh my
like
God.
NCI.
God damn it! Their headline writers they're like Matt Onion level.
And then,
but then do they even know it?
I do. The subtitle that's still bold that you can still read at a glance is like a half sentence, and it just says "weird secret he kept from gay bashers." Is it a weird secret to keep from gay bashers? I am gay.
What a wacky
You'll
guy.
never guess.
Weird secret he kept from gay bashers. It's weird. Like,
Yeah.
Gay bashers hate
they're
this
still
guy.
punching. They're still punching down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the thing. They're always punching down. No matter any
secret he kept from gay bashers.
He's gay.
Newsflash, it means he's gay.
Yeah. And so Donaldson from Screwdriver issues a death threat on stage.
No.
And he told a
Seems like that
told a
should be
fanzine, he's dug his own grave as far as I'm concerned. I was fooled the same as everybody else, perhaps more than everybody else, definitely more than everybody else.
I sucked his dick. It didn't seem gay.
I felt I was betrayed by him, and I wanted nothing to do with him whatsoever. But the thing was, it was really not about being gay so much as it was him turning away from the ideology.
Yeah, of course. That would have been fine.
That's what they were mad about.
Yeah, they would have been fine with the gay.
And that's what all of those groups are mad about.
Yeah.
Is when you stray from the flock.
Yeah,
They don't care if you're doing it on your own time. Like, I mean, can't say they all don't, but like, it's all about keeping up appearances and towing the party line.
Right.
They need all the help they can get.
Yeah.
Because there's not a lot of good Nazi help.
No,
There's a
you can't
lot of
find
really
good Nazi
stupid
help these
people.
days.
There's not a lot of good accountants. So they don't care. They'll take anybody.
Somebody says they saw him when he was working as a bicycle messenger, and he was wearing Dayglow Lycra shorts. So he went like
He went gay.
Yeah.
full gay,
Yeah.
and
He did join the Village People.
yeah,
He was a village person.
and so this guy was going to meet Nicky one day, and then Nicky didn't turn up, and Crane had died the day before. He was 35.
Jesus Christ.
And it was bronchopneumonia, complications from AIDS.
Oh,
Did
shit.
he get it in
And,
Thailand? Probably dirty London.
Well, that's the thing, is that then people were going like, is that why he came out, really? Was he already sick and then was like, I'm going to make peace with this before?
I mean, maybe it makes sense.
You never know. I mean, also, it seems like getting his ass kicked also, he wasn't doing all the ass kicking anymore. He got knocked unconscious, got thrown under a bus. I mean, you
also...
Now the gate...
You got Ace from the bus.
Now you can't fucking...
Yeah, I mean, but when he realized he was gay, like, is that when he started being the worst version of himself? Like, because it's that classic thing of the people who make the most noise about being anti-gay are doing that to kind of like prove to themselves
their own inner.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think there was a part of him that just authentically was a bad dude and really liked hurting people.
And it seemed like he was, squelching it down. I mean, he didn't have sex with a man until he was 26, so he was fighting away the gay by
fighting people,
Yeah.
right? I mean, just to armchair psychologize, but oof, boy, you could have been fucking
he could have been
sweet man ass and not hurting a gosh darn soul.
Having a great time being a strong gay guy.
And then, so it coincided with, by the way, Donaldson from a Screwdriver would die, I think, the same year in a car crash.
He probably doesn't believe in seatbelts.
And so,
fascist.
Like I said, this movement kind of came out of like a lot of people dipping out of electoral politics and taking it to the street. This, the huge like wave of violence that followed and all the notoriety, that's what convinced like the British National Party to get off the streets and get back into electoral politics, where they, have done surprisingly scarily well. So I mean, it was that was the story of Nicky Crane, the gay skinhead.
The gay skinhead.
Yeah.
Man.
Started at Doc Martens, cuffed jeans, ended up
as a mango. Chris Kattan mango.
Ended up dressing like Mango, yeah. Lycra shorts, Dayglow. Complications of AIDS.
Yeah, it was.
Maybe he got it in jail.
And he died with his boyfriend by his side too.
Oh.
Yeah.
Probably Jamaican dock worker or something like that.
It really was.
Just have fun with whatever you want. I don't care. I like to think it was a big Jewish guy. Oh no, actually,
It's actually his boyfriend from Thailand.
Yeah. No. It was
13-year-old.
Yeah, no time for love.
Long round.
Long schlong. So. Yeah. Somebody said there was a rumor he dated an older guy that was Jewish. And a lot of those guys that knew him just from the gay side were like, "Oh, I don't think he's serious about any of that shit." They just knew a totally different guy.
Yeah.
And
that's probably the only time he felt like he could actually be himself. Maybe I don't know. It's hard to.
Yeah, but he's
it's like Batman. Which one's the mask?
Yeah,
but it's that thing too where he still does have he's probably a celebrity there too because he still has an awesome look and he is a literal poster boy. Mm-hmm. So it was just when they really found out oh no, this is not somebody said he was a butch looking geezer. And so he was pretty popular.
Butch looking geezer.
He's a butch looking geezer. And
which in British slang,
but then they realized oh no, this shit he's fucking really deep in this shit, and attacking a family at a bus stop? Are you out of your fucking
Yeah, he was out of his mind.
I can never start a family.
The gay in me is doing this.
Yeah, he's militantly homosexual.
Yeah.
You're making me gay. You wouldn't like me when I get gay.
Yeah. But yeah, I was, came across it randomly. Man. I was super fascinated by it. There was
gay skinheads, dude.
Yeah.
Love them.
Yeah. I got to check out that episode of Out from Channel 4 if I can find it on YouTube or something. Mm-hmm. And I listened to a couple of gay themed podcasts that were cool.
Ours.
Huh?
You listen to our show.
Well, now it's on the third that I was, but yeah, that BBC article was a big help, and there was another article I read that I just can't remember the source of right now. But it's such a silly fucking thing, and of course when it's all it's already a very fashion-y movement. You know what I mean? People being surprised when one of these guys is and they were saying
you got a lot of accoutrements. And
they were he had just nailed the look. So it's he had the fucking queer eye on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And he's ripped. Most of those guys aren't ripped. They're fucking terrible at working out.
Yeah. But yeah, I was really fascinated by it. And Dodger has more expertise of oi and skinhead culture than I do.
He's sicko.
I called him twice today, and I could not get a hold of him. So Dodger,
wow, Dodger,
really let me down.
He's probably
dude.
too busy Instagramming me 25,000 threads.
Yeah.
He's doing the YMCA dance.
Yeah, he's got to send me a bunch of
reels. Hanging out with the construction worker and the Indian.
Yeah,
Native American.
Yeah, please. Excuse me.
I think you mean Redskin.
That was good. All right, that was pretty good.
We're the Redskins. We're all about racial equality and all that. What? Redskins, get it?
We're based out of Birmingham. I don't know why you're looking at us like that.
This song's called Share the Fucking Mango.
1, 2, 3, oi!
Hell yeah.
That's half a song right
Share
there.
mango, bro.
Mango.
Where the man goes.
That's where the mangoes are.
Is where the man comes.
Oh, God.
You do it right.
With a pregnant possum pisses.
Broth it.
All right, fellas, let's get the fuck out of here.
All right.
Fantastic.
That was
Lovely.
That was fun. Thank you for the mangoes, man. That was really cool.
Yeah, I know you love fruit.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
And thanks for the mango.
Yeah. Keep them back.
Yeah. We have fruit up top and fruit in the back.
Hey, Matt. Thanks for the mangoes. Word.
John, thanks for the mangoos. I'm going to say goodnight. I love you. My name is John Fahey.
I'm Aaron Pita.
Matt Brousseau.
Good night, everybody. We love you.
Good night.